All right. Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Marketplace Mavericks. We got three over the hill guys who are
Whoa.
selling on Amazon, and we are telling our story. And we're back. What's going on, guys?
We are here, Mr. John. Man, it's good to see you guys. I missed last week. You guys had Mr. Omar on,
Yeah,
and
I wasn't here either. So
oh, that's
No,
right. Pete
we
wasn't
just
Omar,
there
had to do
either.
one on one.
Omar and I went solo on each other last week.
Well, a good thing is I don't think either one of you probably have any issue talking, right?
Oh no, we could have done 3 hours.
Instead, you did it for how long? 30,
I
40
think we were.
minutes?
I think it was a full hour.
Oh, it's a full hour. Okay.
I think so. I think it was a full hour. It was a lot of good stuff. Omar's just he's like he's such a good dude on
He
top of
really
it,
is,
which
man.
is like it's just nice to have. I never thought having an online business or working from home, one of my biggest issues was like, oh, I'm going to become a hermit.
Right.
Like I'm just going to be staring at a
It's
computer
a
screen.
different world, but you're connecting with people who are in the same space as you, which is really bizarre, especially for guys our age. Like that stuff just wasn't common.
No, no, and I mean, it really kind of feels like we're all coworkers talking during the day.
Yeah.
You know, each we're all kind of doing the same thing, but a little different, and not working for the same company, but kind of working for the same company because we're all working for Mr. Bezos
That's
in a
right.
way.
Making sure he gets his yacht paid for.
Yeah, one of his
I
many
meant
yachts.
one of his yachts.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry.
maybe I'm paying for the yacht that follows his yacht, or the yacht that follows that yacht, or one of the yachts inside of his yacht, somewhere around there. But yeah, we did great. We really enjoyed having him on again. And
Well, Pete and I just appreciate you having us back on.
Yes, we do.
well, I'm here for everybody.
We
I
thank
am
you.
just here for everybody. But I think this week will be a good week to kind of talk a little bit about updates with all of us. I know we've all kind of changed a little bit. Um, so like Pete, what do you got going on?
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, I have a lot going on, and at the same time, I have nothing going on, and I'll explain here. I kind of I'll label it as being overwhelmed by opportunity because I think over the last few weeks, I've told you guys about me delving into web scraping, delving into wholesaling exclusively, delving into just a myriad of other avenues that you can go with Amazon. And I'm at the point now where I am really, I'm at a standstill, to be honest, just because I have so many, I'm juggling so many plates that I don't even know which one to focus on anymore. RA, OA, web scraping, wholesale. I'm even looking at Amazon influencer program. I'm just like I said, I'm just sort of overwhelmed and really not even sure what path I want to go down. And so that's really impacted me in a way where I'm just like at a standstill. I don't know where to put all my energy because I feel like any of these opportunities are ones you can really hone in and do really well at. And I feel like that I just don't know which of those I want to do. And so I just kind of feel stuck, you know. Sure, I don't have a 9 to 5 anymore. All I have is Amazon that I'm focusing on. But at the same time, I I don't know. I I'm just stuck.
Yeah. Well, I think part of you being stuck, and I had the same thing too. 6 months ago, when all of a sudden I didn't have a job anymore.
Mhm.
Because yeah, we have Amazon as our job, but it's not, we're not taking a paycheck anymore from it. We don't have really anybody to answer to other than ourselves. Um,
Right.
Even me owning my own business, I still had employees and people to answer to. Um, so I think in your situation, probably a lot like mine, it's not even the fact that it's Amazon, it's just leaving your job. I mean,
Mhm.
when was the last time you didn't have a job?
July 31st was my last day at
Yeah,
my 9 to 5. So yeah, it's been almost
You've
a month
always had
now.
a job, so you've always had the next thing to go to. And
Right.
today you don't have that. You're literally making your next moves.
Right.
yeah. And it's a like it's panicky, you know,
Yeah.
because it's part of the reason why I've tried to move so fast with Amazon is like I don't have a choice.
Mhm.
I think it's going to help me succeed, or I think it is helping me succeed. Because I remember when I first talked to Miles, and he was like, when I was having my first 3 weeks, when I was having all the trouble of like learning how to use a computer and all the other stuff, and Miles was trying to get kind of like, hey, this can work for you, and I was like, oh, Miles, this isn't about like it working or not. This has to work. Like this is what I have to do. There's no right now I don't have a plan B. So I might sound frustrated, but like you're not talking to a guy that's going to give up and just go back to his nine. Like I don't have one. So like there is no like plan B here. I just need to figure out how to make this work. So yeah, I think what you're going through is pretty normal. Not that it makes it feel any better when you're going
Right.
through it,
Yeah, it
because
does
yeah,
not.
I think the influencer um program, I know like a little bit about it from listening to a couple podcasts
Mhm.
about it, but I think what's nice, the I forgot who it was. I think it was Crazy Flippin' Mom. Um she's on a lot of social media, and she did it, and she really did it, or whoever it was really did it for the instant money, um for the cash flow, because it was like you put the work in, you got paid. It was almost like a straight paycheck. And she did it enough where I think she said there was a couple months where she made like $5,000-6,000. And it really wasn't contingent upon sales or buying the right stuff or flipping your money. It was like, it's like guys that do the social media and stuff like that. You're just getting paid. So when you're in like the space of like an Amazon, where your pay is all dependent on, really what it looks like on paper and not cash flow, uh, I think something like the Amazon influencer program, it gives you a paycheck, um, that you can kind of, in a roundabout way, count on without really putting money out. You got to put some effort in and some time in, but you really don't have to put money out and like hope things sell, hope you bought the right things. So I think in that aspect, I think that could give you some some sort of anchor.
Yeah, for
Like if you
sure.
can
The upfront cost for that is very minimal, if maybe even non-existent, because
a
you're
decent camera.
essentially recording a bunch of reviews of products and you're submitting those. And if somebody watches your review and purchases a product after watching the review, then you get a cut of that, and it's very minimal. But there's some people that are out there, making 700, 800, 1,000 videos a year, maybe a month. I don't know. I'm fairly new to it, but they're putting in so much work in terms of creating content that's where they get paid from.
Yeah, I mean, all you really need is your phone, and
Mhm.
like that gives good enough video. And I think the person that I listened to, she said she was doing about 40 a day,
40 videos a day,
40 videos a day, but she was like, they're one take.
right? And they're like
It's
30 seconds to a minute
30
long.
seconds. She's like, you got to like reset up a little bit. But
Hmm.
she's like, it sounds like a lot, but 40 videos, really not
That's
that
not the
big of a
deal.
deal.
Yeah,
So she was ripping through
right,
a bunch of videos. So yeah, I think that could be something that at least gives you, you could, kind of carve out, hey, 3 hours a day, just sit there, crank out videos, submit them, see what happens. They got to build up a little bit to like make that money, but I do think that that could at least start giving you, you know, an income and kind of settle the nerves, because
right,
it is nerve wracking not um having a job, or just it's not just that, but it's purpose. Your job. And I think once you start doing Amazon at a higher level, sure, the purpose is going to come into it.
hmm
um but on the other hand, like right now, yeah, it's like, what am I doing? So yeah, I think something like that might be a good first step for you.
Yep. So I have been, doing a little bit of digging in terms of what it takes to, go through the process and be approved by Amazon to become an affiliate mark or not affiliate, an influencer. I've also met with Omar. He's currently doing that. He's jumping into that. I've already seen a few videos come through from him that he posts on YouTube. So yeah, I'm dabbling with that as well. But again, it all kind of circles back to the whole feeling of being overwhelmed just by the amount of things you can do with Amazon.
Yeah.
And I'm just kind of feel
Well,
like
if
I
you're,
need to make a decision on what it is I'm going
yeah,
to really dig
if
into.
if you remember, I mean, I think all of us felt that way just even getting into the space to begin with. Just that overwhelming feeling of there just being so many things that you got to figure out and do, and the gating and the ungating, and I mean, just all these things, and what can you sell and what can you, I mean, it was just overwhelming. And I think in some sense that's kind of where you're at, and I think it's even kind of where I'm at in some ways because you do have all of these plates or uh, things that you're trying to juggle, and a lot of irons in the fire that you don't know which one to pick out. All of them could be profitable. All of them could, but again, every one of them is going to require work. It's going to be a matter of choosing the one or the two that you want to take into. And I think that's really interesting because even as John, like every week, John, what you say is three over the hill guys on their Amazon journey. And what's unique is this Amazon journey can take us multiple places. Again, whether it's wholesale, whether it's into Amazon influencers as you're talking, or one of the places I particularly looked at back a couple months ago was even some TikTok stuff, and I got all that from a Amazon conference that I went to, and so it's interesting, and even for our listeners to be able to hear or viewers to be able to watch and see like this journey. It's just that is a journey, and it's going to take us to wherever we choose to go and follow. Pete, a couple weeks ago you had even mentioned, I think if I remember right, that you had a wholesaler that you were trying to work on. Had you mentioned that? Am I mistaken, or did you mention that
Yeah.
before?
Yeah. Just, it's another stream. A wholesaler that I was working with. I was considering, being an exclusive partner with them as their wholesaler. I had to kind of reel that back a little bit due to the amount of capital that I had to invest. And so I said, well, maybe I can just, work with them and try to, create ads for their product and, go at that angle. And so
Okay, so
that's
where is
still,
that at right now? Because we had a little bit of conversation before we went recording, but where are you at right now with that?
yeah. So, that's moving slowly. And I'm finding out really quickly that the brands, whenever you're communicating with them about, potentially helping them or becoming a partner with them, whatever aspect it is that you're going to be helping them with, they really do move at a much slower pace than what you're expecting.
Especially
And
whenever you're looking for sales and income, right? I mean, they're moving slow.
right. If their sales are moving slow and you want to help them, start, moving them a lot quicker and help make them more money for their products that they're selling, they're still they want to make sure they have all their I's dotted and T's crossed before they actually, sort of bring you on board. And communication back and forth tends to be a little slower in that regard. So where that's going right now, it's moving, but slowly.
Because you even had a conversation with them today and they're still interested in doing it, right?
Yeah, yeah. I got an email back from them today after about a couple of weeks. And they said that they've been on vacation or they've been, preoccupied with other things. So, but they're still interested and want to move forward. Just they'll get back to me next week. So, I said, well,
They're just
okay.
not on our schedule.
Right. Yeah,
It's so
I'm
true.
ready to
They
jump in
take
today,
forever.
and they want to, start moving, maybe next week. So,
Yeah, they all of these like it takes time. Like I was telling you guys before we started recording, it's not unusual for me to get an email from a brand that I might have talked to, emailed, something 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago, and like send me an email with like a price list or like with interest to do something. And like I got to fumble through my spreadsheet and be like, who is this company? I emailed them. And then I look, I'm like, oh, yep, that's the date. That's the email. Like I've written it down and everything. And it's nice because, it's like an unexpected thing, but like it's not unusual. So I think like I've noticed like if I don't hear back from someone right away, I don't really I just move on. I'll keep following. Like eventually, I would have followed up with that brand, but it was a brand that like a brand or distributor. Someone I didn't have a phone number, so all I had was email. But they still get back to you, and now I have a phone number for them because they got back to me, and there's a phone number in there. So like now I have a point of contact. Um, so yeah, you just never know. When it's gonna pop back up.
yeah, I'm curious, Blake. I know you've been working with somebody else, another brand directly, and how are those communications going?
I mean, our communications are there. He has become pretty big, I guess, in a sense that he is constantly being invited to other events. And so he went to New York a couple times. He was actually on, I think he said like Times Square screens a couple different times because of some big promotions or whoever brought him in. So I mean, he's out there and he's getting a lot of invitations to different places. And my last text to him was about 2 weeks ago. And the reason it was 2 weeks ago is because he said he's going to Tennessee for 2 weeks. And that was because of an engagement that he had. And so he's been gone. And I even stopped by the guy's house just to touch base with him. I didn't know, I honestly did not know where he lived and I didn't know any of the details. He had invited me over to his house at one point before, but it ended up not working. And so I was driving by one day and I saw him outside. And I'm like, hey, let me stop in and see him. He was outside, and so I was hopeful at that point that we'd be able to, hey, let's get together tomorrow morning or something, and I would have done whatever I needed to do to make it work. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Again, he's still very interested in me partnering with him and getting his sales online because he's not on Amazon at all right now. And so he's very interested in it. He's like, let's go make money. Well, I got to have you working with me. And so he's gone. And so it's like you guys, John and Pete both said, like they're on their own time frame. They're already successful doing what they're doing. This is going to make them more successful.
Right.
But like I said, it's not our time, it's their time. And so
Right.
it's whenever they're ready to sit down and make the deal or get this stuff up and going. It's up to them. So yeah, that's kind of where I've been. He's been out MIA, I guess, for a couple weeks, but we're supposed to connect. Hopefully tomorrow. I think he gets back in today. So I'm going to reach out to him and hopefully be able to ink the deal, I guess, per se, very, very soon. I would love to be able to come back next week and give a big update on that. That's my hope. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I've done a lot of just kind of an update on me. I've been still doing some RA stuff. Really, that's all I'm doing is strictly RA. The wife and I went on I don't even know how many mile trip it was. We went all around Oklahoma and then south down to some Texas and hit some ollies this past weekend. And so I mean, still doing well with that, finding some decent products that we're able to sell. And so that is going well. I'm going to probably hit another $10,000 month, which will be my second time to do that. First one was like my second month. Now I'm in like month 7 or 8 and whatever it is. And I haven't hit those numbers before, since that point. But my Amazon stuff is still moving. I'm ready to get more into with this private label. And I really just want that to take off. Again, I'm still managing a 9 to 5. I've just got done. My mother-in-law's about to be moving in with me temporarily. Then eventually we'll end up moving to Missouri. I say mother-in-law moving in with me. Most people think,
Temper-
oh my God. No, it's actually the greatest
Oh,
thing.
that's okay.
Oh, it's the best thing ever. Hey,
Oh, okay.
it's the
You had
greatest.
to preface that because I think I remember my mother-in-law. No, that would not be a good idea.
Oh no, it's one of those deals like I'm giving an example, but like I eat out of a bowl and I set the bowl down and I come back and that bowl's missing. What happened to my bowl? Well, she took it
It's
and
already washed.
she took it and she cleaned it. So I try it again. Guess what happens? It keeps working. So
Wait, is
why
does
would
the
I
same
change that, right?
does the same thing happen with laundry? Because I hear
Bro, honest to God, this is the gospel truth. She has already asked when she moves in, can she do our laundry? Like, I'm
because
telling you, this is golden. My mother-in-law is second to none, guys. I mean,
because
none.
let me tell you, I'm living. My girlfriend just moved in with me, and this is the first time me living with somebody in over 6 years. And I just realized last week, like, if I put my laundry into this basket in my bedroom, like a day or two later,
Miraculously,
it shows up in a drawer. It's
what have
like
you been missing?
I don't know what I've been missing.
Yeah.
It's
So
unbelievable.
my literally before I had just moved and my mother-in-law is going to be moving, we literally had one house between us. And so she would come down to the house regularly. And I invited her, like she's phenomenal. And she would come down while I was at work and just do our laundry and just take care of whatever needed to be done. And so yeah, she's excited to move in with us. We're excited. She's again a phenomenal lady. And so she'll be moving in with us. I think this weekend is when she's coming. So
Well, listen, if it doesn't work out, shit, we gotta. I need to be like, you got a friend on the Cape. John's little son.
She's probably going to be sticking with me, John.
All right, all right, all right. Just thought I'd throw it out there.
But yeah, so I've had a lot going with the moving and blah blah blah. Eventually, we move into Missouri, probably within 6 months to a year. We're looking for land, going to look to build a home there with my mother-in-law. And so yeah, it's I'm still extremely busy working the 9 to 5 and trying to fit Amazon in between. And kids back in school now. One's homeschool, one's in school. So it's or an online school, not homeschool, but. That's kind of been my life all wrapped up in the last 3 or 4 minutes here. But yeah, it's things are going well. John, where are you at, man? You've been on this wholesale journey that people are following and watching, and man, you've had some I wouldn't say roller coaster, but you have had some even with VA stuff and with your sales and connections with your brands. And where are you at?
Yeah, so like a roller coaster would definitely be a good way to explain it. Last week was like my worst week. My sales tanked. Um, I think it felt like over 50% of my wholesale stuff tanked. And I mean like Titanic tanked.
Let me ask you, why did your sales? Why did things tank last week? What
Um,
happened?
I think some stuff was just luck. A lot of it bounced back up. Um, One thing in particular I bought, it was brand direct. It's still in the tank, and I don't think it's coming back. It seasonal for one. I thought I could squeeze it in. When I bought it, 5 sellers. It really didn't have many sales or much data before April, but 500 plus units a month, 5 sellers on it. And and I called the brand and they agreed to sell it to me like right away. And I was like, and then like a little thing in my head, I'm like, it's seasonal, but I'm like, they're selling 500 a month. There's 5 sellers. Like I can squeeze in here before. I had to buy just under 300 of them in order to like get the price that I needed at that time, which the price was 28, $29, like decent margins, 20%, somewhere in there. Not something that would really get returned. I got it, went to the prep center, nice and super, super easy, went on Amazon, and I didn't look at it for about 2 weeks. And then I saw that it was active. I went on Amazon. Today it's at $19.99 with 13 sellers and probably about 3,000 of them in stock. This
Well, good
brand
news is you can return it, John.
this brand sold it to everyone. And when I called them, they were like, oh, yeah, we just got a big shipment in. So they just flooded it. They don't understand Amazon. They
Well, they
don't
don't
know that
care either. They
they
sold.
may not. This is also going to be one that I will call, even though I'm going to take a bath on this. I'm going to call them and see if they understand what they not call them like you sold it to every like uh, that's not the way to. But I'm going to call them and say like, hey, have you seen your Amazon listing? Like, do you understand like what happens? And I'm going to try to educate them.
Yeah. Well, that could be very beneficial, and it could be very beneficial to you if that works out.
Sure, and it would be for the because this all has to sell out. I mean, they have a lot of product. I don't think it'll die in the winter because there's warm areas of the country that could still use it, but it's definitely seasonal, and I'm going to give it a go, um, and see if maybe they just didn't understand really what they did. And I don't mean that in like, oh, you're making me lose money sort of way, just like what they're doing to their brand and how they understand Amazon. So yeah, there was that. And then I have another brand that we are on 3.5 weeks now of trying to get ungated.
Okay.
And
Oh, but
that
you have that product.
that product is sitting at a prep center. Um, Finally, we find out after 3.5 weeks of going up the chain, for whatever reason, the brand is registered. But I didn't think they were registered because they have no A plus content, they have no storefront, but you can still be registered in their registry. But the brand does have very little sellers on it. And they were probably sellers before this brand registered, so they're grandfathered in. Um, but the brand, I think almost by accident in some way, because they said they didn't mean to, made it so you have got to be registered with the brand as a seller in order to sell it. Meaning, even my letter of authorization that I had didn't matter. The brand has to go into the registry and
Yeah.
add me as a seller.
That's what I'm
And
having to do with my guy. I'm getting
right.
me set up and giving me permission to sell it under his account.
So all of that, now Amazon could have told me that 3 weeks ago instead of just did not, but that's Amazon. So yeah, finally I got a hold of the brand today. They're going to do it for me tomorrow and add me, and I'll finally be able to send that in. So I have that, and then I have another grocery item, the one that I bought in California, that has been at a prep center now for 2 weeks. They're taking so long to prep it, and
Whoa.
they're yep, the prep is well. I had to get them last minute because I bought it in California and they put me in charge of shipping, and it was all on me. So I had to learn how to do an LTL, all normal stuff, but it tied up $15,000 of just dead
Hmm.
money. Now I'm going to make, well, the one brand I'm not going to make money, but these other two brands, like even the grocery brand, that's become so expensive of the prep and it's such a low
Margin.
margin. I don't even know if I'm going to make money on it. But like that's okay. And I learned a lot. So all this stuff, like I'm learning, but super, super annoying, frustrating. And then on top of it all, like, yeah, my sales like nosedive last week. I was going from doing consistently over 1,200 every single day to like every day last week, I was doing like $500.
That's a great day for me, John.
Yeah, well, so I'm like, oh man, everything is going wrong. And then, like today, I had never had a $2,000 day, and today I am at $2,800,
That's
my
impressive.
best day ever. So, but like I tried doing some higher priced items, and they just hit, and they're selling for a great margin of like almost it is Amazon. It is a roller coaster. But the plus of last week is I now, and I haven't talked about it, I now have myself a full time real deal VA
Nice.
who is an absolute all star. My VA I had before, super nice guy, young kid, really, 23, 24 years old. He was part time. He did not want to move to my hours, and he was a perfect VA for your first VA to see what it's like. Um, but I really wanted a VA who is going to be my right hand, who understands the back end of Amazon, who understands PPC, who understands page optimization, who really has real knowledge. And I went through, I'll give them a plug because I'm sure the thousands of people want to know it. This company called somewhere.com, a hiring agency that I had really good recommendations from. Uh, and it was worth all of the money I had to pay them. I have a woman now who started with me just yesterday, but just in the 2 days, whether it is like night and day, she has 8 years of experience. 2 of the years were at Amazon, where she started. So she just knows every in and out. There is no, oh, maybe we could do it this way. Maybe we should do it that way.
He knows.
Like if something needs to get done, she's like, yeah, I got that. Yeah, I got that. And it just gets done. And she knows how to, she starts using flat file and just really high end stuff that I don't even know what it is. And I told her that when I hired her, I said, listen, I'm sales, I'm front of the house, you're back of the house. Um, I can't, and it's true to most of the point, like I can't train you for what you're doing. That's why I'm hiring you because I need you to really show me what we need to do. And her and I just really shared like the same vision. She actually also has twin daughters that I found out on
Wow.
her first day. So that's kind of cool. She got 4 kids. And she's just a hardworking, really nice woman. And I think
Is she in the States working on your hours?
she's in the Philippines, but she works my hours.
Okay.
Mostly, she's just like I told her she was like I can do 9 to 5. I'm like, listen, if you want to start at 7, so you can go to bed afterwards. I was like, you can start at 7 because I start early in the morning anyways. I was like, as long as we have a good 4 or 5 hours in the middle of the day to do all the big work together, I was like, that's fine. I just wanted them. Yeah, I just need her there in the middle of the day.
You need her when you need her.
Yeah, and she's fantastic. Just So yeah, I'm starting to see the benefits of that, and I'm just 2 days in, and she just was cleaning, and there was nothing really for her to clean up. Like I said, my last VA did a good job. But this is the one, this is the person like I want to grow the business with.
That's
And
awesome.
as I grow, I told her, I said, listen, whoever I hire after you is going to be somebody you hire. Like when we start to get busy and you need help, come to me and be like, hey, I need help for this. You're going to like, well, I will put an ad in, but like you will interview, they will answer to you, and you're going to be the boss.
Is she
So
excited about that?
yeah, and like I wouldn't use the hiring agency for that. The hiring agency
Right,
is
right.
expensive. I would go more for that entry level, somebody she can train. But obviously, whoever she's hiring, it would be for more of the mundane like stuff because she's really doing. I mean, she was showing me today some stuff with Amazon that just like she just knows different ways. There's it's just endless on the back end of Amazon. Um,
Yeah,
how
it's a great way to scale it up for sure.
yeah. So like but it kind of like got me nervous because it made
How
it
much
feel
she
real.
knows?
Well, like my first VA, it kind of felt like I had a kid who was like helping me after school. It didn't, number one, it didn't cost me very much. And like he was like part time. It wasn't like feel real. Like this woman, it's like, oh,
She knows.
she knows. And almost like I was like, oh, I need to get some business going.
You know,
Like,
that's actually a very important principle that I learned a long time ago is, and John, you're playing right into that, is that as the boss, you don't have to know everything. You need to
no,
have some understanding of the things, but you need to surround yourself with people who are better than you and let them do their thing.
right,
Don't
right.
thumbprint them, man. Just let them do their
No,
thing as long as they're working with the parameters you've set. Gosh dang, man, like let them
yeah,
go make you money and they're gonna survive. They're gonna
yeah.
be
My
successful as well.
my dad told me when I went into business with him at 22. And I go to my dad for any decision I make, especially when it has to do with a lot of money. I always like my dad is like my sounding board.
Yeah.
And he told me at 22 when I went to business with him, he's like, listen, don't override your managers. If you're going to just not listen to them, don't hire them. There's no reason to have them. Let them manage. Do not micromanage people. They will hate you and they will leave you. He said, and he always said that, like, owning a taxi business, you fire a lot of taxi drivers. And the manager does it and never once. And a lot of times, those taxi drivers, because they thought they knew my dad, would come back in 3 days later when the manager wasn't there and beg for their job back. And not once, no matter what they said, he was always like, did Ken fire you? Yeah, well, I can't override Ken. And it didn't matter, even if he didn't agree with Ken, why the guy got fired. He was like, you can't, don't micromanage. You have them there for a reason. Hire people that are better than you and what you're not good at. So, yeah, I've
Also,
always
another piece
taken,
of advice I got long ago, somebody can maybe take this with them, but it is let me think how you put it. The shadow of the farmer is the best fertilizer.
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
really know how it applies here in Amazon because you are virtual with a lot of things, but if you're not engaged in it, I don't think it would work. But your engagement with this girl seems like it's going to be phenomenal.
yeah. And like it just got like listening to other people in my online group and stuff like that with the wholesalers, like every one of the really high end wholesalers, every one of them are like, when you ask about VAs, they're like, yeah, yeah. They're like, and I always ask them, like, do you have one? They're like, oh, yeah, I got one. I have my right hand. And they're paid well. And
And
they're
now you have one.
yeah, and they're like, and they're never leaving. Like and you know that when you had, I had a mechanic, and for 20 years, he was my first hire, and he stayed with me the whole time, and he was my right hand. Like I couldn't do it without him, and like so it can be so beneficial. But yeah, it definitely got me on the ball. I was like, oh man, I need to get going. I need more sales. I need more customers. I need more brands because like I have to feed her.
But now you have somebody who can help you with all that.
Yeah, now like we'll get through this leak point like because she's cleaning up a lot of stuff, and like obviously she has to ask more questions because she's picking everything up in the middle. So it's not that she doesn't know how to do it. She just has to be like, hey, where are you with this? Where are you with this? And once we get through that, like she told me, she was like, listen, all you have to do is make calls. Like I'll do everything else. When you need a PO, just message me. I'll have the PO sent over to you. I'll have this sent over to you. My job is to back you up. And it's just like really good to hear because that's what I
For
wanted.
sure, man. That's
But at the
phenomenal.
same time,
That's
it's like,
awesome, John.
yeah, at the same time, it's like, oh man, I need to get I need to get going. So it's exciting. So yeah, so to answer your question, 100%, a roller coaster is the way to go because last week at this time I wanted to tear my hair out, and now, on Friday I hired the VA, and today I'm going to do $3,000 in sales, and like, my brand is going to get ungated and some things pop back up, and I'm going to get that other grocery sent in, and it's like, oh, all is fine. And guess what? In 3 weeks from now, probably going to happen again.
I was about to say it'll happen again, but you'll know
Yeah,
how. But you'll know how to
yeah.
approach it, and you'll have the help from the VA to be able to do that. I think all this is just phenomenal information for listeners because each one of us on our own separate journeys, and I think this information is just a wealth of knowledge for people who are, again, either they're getting into it or they've been following us and they're in the same place. This is phenomenal stuff, guys.
Yeah, it is just Amazon is not for the faint. Amazon is not for the faint. Like, you have got to but it's starting any business isn't. It's no different than starting any business. It's no different than starting a landscaping business, a construction business, anything else. There's a massive amount of headaches in the beginning. You're going to put in way more work than you get paid. And the goal is that down the road, it's going to pay off.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. So, but
Pete, wrap it up for us, man. What you got? Wrap
Yeah.
it up here.
To John's point, really the only way to succeed is to, put the work in. And if you're not willing to spend the hours or put the work in, then, maybe
find
Amazon's
something else.
not for you. But it's like any other job or any other business that you want to, succeed at or do well with. You have to put in the hours. And in my case, I got to figure out which direction to go and put and focus those hours on. But it sounds like you were saying, Blake, we've all we're all in different places in our journey. And we're happy to kind of share those with everybody, and hopefully they can learn from those.
Yeah.
And if they have any questions or anything, John, they're going to email us at
marketplacemavericks@gmail.com. And you
nailed
got to
it.
make sure you got to like and subscribe. And I don't know who, but next week we're going to find a banger guest and bring them on here to talk about what they've been doing on Amazon. And yeah, I think, I don't know who, but I'm going to throw this out there, and we're just going to have to find someone. We need our first female guest.
Hey, there we
We
go.
need our
I
first
like
female
that. I like
Hey,
that.
this might be a serious question here. I wonder, John, your VA, does she bring any kind of a wealth of knowledge that she could impart to our listeners?
I'll talk to her.
I mean,
I'll
it
talk
might
to her.
be
Yeah, I
honestly, it
mean,
might work.
I think her wealth might be so technical. I don't know how much it would make sense.
And that might be the case.
Yeah,
I,
but I
I
think at
can't
some point when I get more comfortable, I would bring Chris on.
I can't think of any other podcaster, YouTuber, whatever that does Amazon has ever actually interviewed their virtual assistant.
You know what? There's a first for everything.
You're welcome.
There is a first for
That's a great
everything. But
idea,
yeah,
Blake.
I think next week we're gonna find one. We're gonna bring. We need a little female advice on here.
Yes.
We need a little
Okay.
female advice on here because they're obviously smarter than us. Um, that
Yes.
that doesn't make
Yes.
sense. Yes. So, yeah, I think that was great today. There's our update, and we're going to be back next week, and you guys can hold me to it. I have no clue who, but we're going to find our first female guest.
Let's do it, man. It's gonna be a great time. And until then, gentlemen.
We are no, we're not. We're the Marketplace Mavericks.
Yes, we are.
Bless your heart,
Yes,
John.
we are. Yes, we are.
Marketplace Mavericks out, baby.
Until next.